This is the first time since leaving Bethesda where I've been genuinely surprised about an announcement that they've made. If you missed the news, Bethesda just announced that both Redfall and Starfield are being delayed to the first half of 2023. Now, full transparency, I'm as honest as I can be with all of you. I knew about Redfall. I knew that Redfall was delayed and it was going to be pushed back to next year. I was simply waiting on Bethesda to announce that fact because we were getting so close to shows like Summer Games Fest. But I genuinely, truthfully had no idea that Starfield was also going to be delayed to next year. That is the honest truth. And I have so many thoughts going through my head right now that I want to share with you. But first, let me actually read the announcement, and then we'll go on from there. So on Twitter, Bethesda went live with an image titled "An Update on Redfall and Starfield." And the image says, "We've made the decision to delay the launches of Redfall and Starfield to the first half of 2023. The teams at Arcane Austin, Redfall, and Bethesda Game Studios, Starfield, have incredible ambitions for their games, and we want to ensure that you receive the best, most polished versions of them. We want to thank everyone for their excitement for Redfall and Starfield. That energy is a huge part of what inspires us every day and drives our own excitement for what we're creating. We can't wait to share our first deep dive into the gameplay for both Redfall and Starfield soon. Thank you for your support." And then Bethesda Game Studios quote retweeted that and said, "We can't wait for you to play Starfield, but we need some more time. We're so thankful for all the support and encouragement, and are excited to show you the game soon." So I think there are two things to talk about here. One is the actual delay itself. And then two is, when are we seeing gameplay now? Because we've been waiting on that. And my last video is pretty much thrown out the water in terms of the theory. Actually, the general premise is still correct. But, oh my god. Okay, so haven't even finished my morning coffee yet. Yeah, no idea. No idea. This has genuinely shocked me. Based on everything I knew and everything I'd been told before I left. Starfield was being released on 11/11/2022. Like, Todd was fixated on that date for many reasons. It made so much sense for them. Historically, it's relevant for Bethesda. In terms of marketing, it made the release so much easier because now across Europe and the US and Australia and everywhere across the world, they can just say the game is releasing on 11/11 instead of having to change the date and the month. Everything was going for that date, man. Like, I don't know when this decision would have been made. I don't know what happened or what has happened to the development of Starfield. But yeah, all I can tell you is that I'm shocked. I'm genuinely shocked, and I genuinely had no idea. Now, I can sit here and say, yeah, delays are fine. They should delay the game and get the best product possible, especially after the release of Flight 76. And you all know as well as I do, that is all true. It is all absolutely true, right? Like, I want to see the best game possible. They don't want to screw up the launch, like with what happened with Flight 76, like with what happened with Cyberpunk, right? I think especially that game, given its hype and how Starfield is kind of edging towards those levels of hype, I think that game has really set the foundation for, you know, developers just delaying a game. If it's not ready and it's not ready to be out in the public, they will just happily delay it now more so than ever. So I think some of you might actually be less shocked than me that the game is delayed because of everything that's happened with COVID, everything that's happened with bad game launches, and everything that's happened with delays. Like, you might not actually be shocked, but man, I actually don't know what to say. I'm sitting on a video for the first time in a long time and have no idea what to say. So back to my original point, yes, like it's a good thing for the health of the game. It's a good thing for Bethesda that they are delaying it, and it means we're going to get a better product, right? We were getting a game that was not going to be in a good shape, would have a lot of issues and a lot of bugs if it was actually released in November of this year. So that is all true. But how long has it been now? How long has it been since the release of a major BGS game? How long has it been since Fallout 4? Like, again, Fallout 76 was also developed by Bethesda, the main Bethesda Game Studios studio, but it wasn't a proper release by them. Like, I'm talking about Fallout 3, Skyrim, Fallout 4, and the next big single player open world RPG, Starfield. How long has it been now, man? It is I completely empathize with them because like the impacts that COVID had and I don't know if they're still working from home and what the situation is there, but the impacts that COVID has had were just tremendous. Like beyond, I think, even I understand at times on the development side. And yes, we are technically still clearing of COVID, but it's COVID has set in this kind of belief in employees' eyes that working remotely and working from home is the future. And often people will just leave a company if they're not flexible, if employers aren't flexible and they're not willing to adopt work from home policies, even if it's a few days a week. So all of that working remotely, everything with COVID, like it has completely had such a huge impact on game development, right? So yeah, I empathize with them. And part of me is also not shocked that this has happened. But it's been so long, and now we're waiting even longer. And someone made the point on Twitter that if Starfield's now being delayed to 2023, that's just going to have knock-on effects for Elder Scrolls 6 and then Fallout 5. And that just makes me sad. I'm not upset with Bethesda. I'm not angry at them. I am just part shocked and part really sad. Shocked the fact that I didn't think this was happening, but sad that now some of our other favorite upcoming games from them are also probably going to be delayed. So if we're talking about Starfield being released in 2023, we're probably talking about Elder Scrolls 6 in 2028, maybe 2027, 2028, and then Fallout 5 probably another 4 years after that. So 2032, 2033 even. If they stick, as I've said in the past, if they stick with their traditional timeline of developing games and how they create games, even with all the studios now under Bethesda Game Studios, if they stick with that, that's probably when we're going to be seeing those games. And it boggles my mind. It just like, I actually don't know what to say. I didn't expect to see this. So far out. I get it. Bethesda, do your thing. Polish the game. They've learned from their mistakes when it comes to Fallout 76. They've learned that you can't just put a game out that's not in a good shape and expect everyone to eat it up. This is like, never was that really acceptable, but even more so now, consumers are actively rebelling against those kinds of launches. So clearly they have learned, and something has happened with the development of Starfield where they've believed that they need more time. So do that. But I am shocked. Like, as I said, just let me know your thoughts, fam. I actually don't know what to say anymore. I don't know. I planned my entire year. I planned everything around Starfield being released this year. And now I have to rethink some things. And oh my god, I forgot that we were meant to talk about the other thing. I'm in a state of shock. Also, what does this mean for Starfield being shown at Summer Games Fest and Jeff Keighley's show and the Xbox presentation happening in June? That's probably still happening. Like, I genuinely think that is still going to happen. I genuinely think that we're probably still going to see a gameplay breakdown of Starfield. Regardless of this delay, they need to do it now. Like, there is no, and I think Todd understands this, I think BGS understands this, there is no now, let's do that just 6 months before release. They don't even know when exactly, what month and what date in 2023 that Starfield's now going to be released. So they can't wait just 6 months or 7 months prior to that for them to release all their gameplay. It needs to happen now in June. They have this announcement. Xbox went live with that post that, you know, they have the Xbox and Bethesda showcase or whatever it was called. It has to happen then. Whatever we see, I think we're still going to see stuff for Starfield then. We're still going to see, in my opinion, Todd get up on stage and go. I'm still shocked. And go through, like, have a big gameplay breakdown of Starfield. I expect something from like 15 to 20 minutes to the standard of Fallout 4 and E3 back in the day. And we'll actually get a proper idea as to the gameplay of Starfield and what the game is about. And probably the same can be said, not as large, I don't think, but I think the same can be said to some extent for Redfall. I think we're going to get some sort of gameplay or some sort of trailer for Redfall as well in that showcase. But, oh my god. Just let me know what you all think. Until next time, this has been Alone. Please take care of yourself. I can't talk. And would you kindly keep fighting the good fight?